you don't mind me asking, what actually went down?
Pretty much your cleaning parts on the combine here for threshing the seed out and everything, and one of these bushings here went out. Can you lift up on that come along anymore?
But there's a key to the whole thing. That's the quality of the product. It starts with the cell, it ends with the cell.
So what are we looking at here? So this is the, okay, so on the other side of the wall is our packing line, where we grade and sort and process, not process, but we pack the onions over there. Because I mean, if you guys are harvesting, they're going to a warehouse or storage. Yeah, they go to a storage facility. We bring them here, and then we run them across this packing line in the back, which again, it sizes them, it grades them. It's an electronic sizer. We can walk up there if you'd like to see it. But it's the state-of-the-art machine right now that I know it's not going to be running, but yeah, I think it'd be cool. No, we can walk up there. But as then, once it comes off of that line, there's bagging lines over here. And this is where we put them into a 50-pound bag, a 25-pound bag, a 40-pound RPC, a box. Then as it comes across, these are palletizing machines here. So it stacks them on a pallet for us. Used to be, 15 years ago when we didn't have these, we've got 8 of them today. We probably had each weighing machine had 6 or 7 guys stacking onion bags on a pallet, by hand. So we've eliminated a ton of labor with these machines. We don't clean the onions so much as like wash them. We don't do any water. But as they go across our packing line, there's places where we blow air on them. They kind of bounce a little bit. And so that takes some of the dirt off of them. So they're really clean when they get in a bag.
Yeah.
This is our green top early crop. So we go in and we take the tops off mechanically. We bring the onions in, we put them in storage for about 10 days, a lot of air, heat them up, dry them really good. And then we bring them into the packing shed. We have a receiving area over here on the other side. The trucks come in, they back in, the onions get unloaded and they come across a topper, which it kind of bounces the onions and moves them around a little bit. And there's a blade underneath that conveyor rollers, and it cuts any roots, any tops, just cleans them up really good. So you talk about cleaning potatoes, we kind of clean the onions that way through those toppers.
A lot of the onions that are coming out of here, what are they being used for?
They'll go to, a lot of them go to grocery stores for
So onion you'll cut up for whatever, your soup or burger or whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah. If it goes to a restaurant, that's what they're doing. Salads, soups, burgers, sandwiches, whatever. Once it comes in here, it comes up these conveyor belts. This system is, at first it blows the air on the onions and tries to clean them off, any skin or any dust or dirt. Then it'll go through this next set of cameras, and that camera is looking at the inside of the onion. So you can see if there's any decay or if there's some kind of a blemish.
Yeah.
Then the next set of camera system, it turns the onion so that it can see the outside. So it's grading the onions for the visual, what it looks like on the outside. And then it sizes it as well. As it takes those pictures, it grades it for what it looks like on the outside, and then it takes the dimensions of it. So we know if it's a small one, it's a pre-pack. If it's a medium-sized one, it's a medium or a jumbo.
Well, onions seem like they're more relatively a pretty hardy plant. I mean, compared to other produce and stuff like that. This year, will you have a pretty good onion harvest?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the farm does, what they do on the farm, but I think so. I mean, we've had a really good spring. We've had good weather.
I know all produce is susceptible to, different things and fungus and whatever, but it seems like onions tend to be pretty durable.
Onions are durable, but they're also very sensitive.
They are.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Onions are one of the most sensitive crops you'll raise, and that's
like
why,
more than potatoes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot that goes into raising onions. My dad leaves the house 4:45 every morning and walks every single one of our onion fields every day. And then we have a part of Sun Heaven. We have an agronomist that he works for the partners and stuff, and constant communication with them every day and stuff of figuring out what we have to do, what different products we need to put on, if we need to have hoeing crews go through them, what we need to do on water. In the last couple of years here, we've really geared, you can see here with this equipment and that stuff and everything we've been implementing on the farm too, as well as in trucking, of using technology. We found that technology is the only way that we're going to be able to really continue to keep going and stuff. And so we have a lot of our fields, we have moisture probes that are hooked into our Valley system, so we can see it on our base station app, stuff like that, and everything to be able to utilize the tools that are available to us to help raise a better crop and to still give us some time to spend times with our families and everything, instead of going and always be checking fields and stuff.
So this machine was set up so that we can put onions into bins over here on the left hand side.
Yep.
On the right hand side of the sizer over here, that's where all of our bagging machines are at. So there's different lanes here where the computer, once it grades and sizes the onion, it kicks it off into these lanes, and the computer knows where to send those, where those onions are going. So as far as being efficient, the idea was that this machine would never stop. If the bagging machine stops over there, it gets plugged up,
This can keep going.
it keeps going, it puts it into bins. So again, going back to the efficiencies, we have to be efficient with our people, limit the number of people, but then run this machine as hard and as fast as we can to be efficient.
Can you give some perspective on how many onions will go through this facility in a year? Like how many truckloads or tons or whatever? Like what's
Yeah, I mean,
just
I
a
can-
ballpark of how much?
It depends on our yields, but anywhere from 4 to 4.5 million 50-pound bags will go through here in a year's time.
And
So we'd have to figure that out as far as truckloads, but it's probably,
During harvest, it's 35 to 40 trucks.
probably somewhere in the 5,000 truckloads range that'll be shipped out of here, 45 to 5,000.
when they're coming out of here because it's onions, are they having to go on refrigerated trailers?
They go on, they go in reefers. We have them.
Because I've seen even some guys hauling onions on flatbeds.
Yeah, they'll come in flatbed and tarp them and stuff. They go into cans. As far as the packing shed, we don't line up any of the freight out of our packing shed. It's all lined up by the buyer. So it's kind of whatever
You're
truck
selling
shows
FOB.
up. Yep, selling it FOB.
But-
Whatever truck they send is what it gets loaded on.
But coming out here though, it can be loaded on a flatbed, a dry van,
Yep.
a reefer,
It
whatever.
It all depends on the time of year.
Yeah, because in the wintertime,
Yeah.
it's going to be temp controlled.
Yeah. Once we get to about the middle of October, maybe the end of October, everything needs to be inside a covered, truck. Flatbeds don't work. So
I know you guys are selling FOB, but is this going to all 48?
it is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We have sent some to Hawaii as well. So,
You said a certain percentage will even go export?
yeah, when I started here, probably 40% of maybe 50% of our crop went export to Japan and Taiwan. They were a big buyer.
Well, especially in proximity because you guys hear them
Yeah.
in the West.
We had reasonable freight, but during the last 15 years, Japan has grown more of their own onions. They've imported more from China, so even our business to Taiwan, Taiwan's getting onions from Japan now. So we just don't have the same market as we did then.
It may sound like a silly question, but are there different cultures that consume more onions than other cultures?
Yeah, the Hispanic culture, I mean, they love onions. We send a lot of onions to Mexico.
That's fair because different diets. I mean, different
Yeah.
cultures. They.
Oh yeah, there's some diets that people hardly ever use onions, and there's ones that every single meal has onions in it.
And tell me this too. Like you guys, this is your life. So how nutritious are onions?
They're a good source of
Somebody told me vitamin C.
yeah, I think there's some good vitamin C in there. I have a friend. She's from the Netherlands. She eats onions at every meal, and that lady never gets sick. I mean, she's never sick. So, I mean, there are some health benefits to it for sure.
Well, and the thing is too, going back to health and stuff like that, especially in society today, everybody's a lot more conscientious about what they're eating and stuff like that. When you look at a crop, like something that you can see coming from the field and everything, like that it still looks like what it was what it was grown as,
Yeah.
you're going to have more health benefits out of that than your burger that you're getting from McDonald's. Granted, there's onions on it and everything, but the less processed food you had, the better you're going to be. My stepmom's very into naturopathic and nutrition, stuff like that. And so we eat a lot of really good food at my parents' house and everything. But that's something where I've found I served a mission for our church, and I lived in South Florida for 2 years. And I came home and I said, all I want is normal food. Like, and that for me, that was like steak, potatoes, onions, stuff like that, like homegrown stuff. Cause at the house and stuff, pretty much the only thing that we don't have here on the farm is chicken. We have our own beef and everything, sweet corn, potatoes, stuff like that and everything, where a lot of our meals are made from stuff that's produced here on the farm. And it's just because Sunday dinner is getting made after we get home from church, and my stepmom goes, you need to run down and go get some onions at the packing shed, and you come down on a Sunday and come get onions and stuff because she's out of onions at the house. And we have 2 deep freezes at the house that we butcher a cow every year to be able to keep for beef and stuff like that. And that's kind of just the way that we do a lot of home cooking. So organic is definitely something that it has benefits and it is good and everything, but at the same time, the way, I guess, if I'm misspeaking here, Jason, talking about the difference between organics and conventional and stuff. Organics, yes, you're using natural things and everything like that, but something that you got to think about too in conventional farming and stuff with the different herbicides, fungicides, fertilizers, stuff like that we put on. Everything is so heavily regulated. We have labels and stuff that we follow. And that is all stuff that's done in a lab and the USDA, all those people, they put those guidelines out. And it's just like, say you go get a vaccination somewhere. There's only a certain timeline that's going to be in your body for, right? And so that's how it is. After we apply a product, we have re-entry periods to be able to go into the fields, just because then that way we're made sure that people are taken care of. In my understanding and in my opinion, there's a lot of common misconceptions in society and everything about different products that farmers put on and stuff. And the way I look at it is, if our livelihood is the soil, our livelihood's putting out food and products for people, why would we, and our families are eating them too, why would we want to put stuff out that's going to hurt other people's families and stuff? And that's where our family eats everything our farm produces and stuff. And like I said, my grandpa's 86 years old. He hasn't died yet. So over here, so from here over, this time last year, or I guess prior, it would have been the year prior, so 2 years ago, this was a bulk storage for onions. So our original, there where we walked through the palletizers and everything, that was where our original sizer was. Okay. All this equipment here is all new in the last 2 years, and all of this is new within the last year. So what we did was, like I said, we like to do a lot of things ourselves and everything, and be able to be as cost effective and conservative as possible. We had this storage here, and what we would do was this storage will get filled full of onions.
So real quick, so this is like when they're getting stored in these?
So this is the bins. So that's what.
Oh, the bin. Okay.
So when we put them in the storages, and I'll take you guys over to one of the storages, we just stack them in there like potatoes, and
just
then
bulk
store them. Go in there with a loader. We build custom buckets for our front end loaders.
It doesn't damage
your amount of damage that happens to them is very minimal, and that's where this sizer will kick them out and everything. This sizer we have is so complex that when we took it and we're first getting it ready, the guys from eCraft were here, and they're all from the Netherlands and stuff, and they said, hey, we want to do a trial. We took red, yellow, and white onions, put them in a bin like that, and ran them through the machine. It sorted every onion out by color and everything. And this machine's so complex that you can take and say, example, Cancer Awareness Month. I want it that they're all white onions with a pink stripe on there, which you never want an onion to have a pink stripe and stuff on it. But say you want to do that, you can make the computer that it's going to have every onion in that bag is going to have a pink stripe on it. Stuff like that where...
you said Netherlands, so this stuff
all this stuff, this took about 93 containers, I believe it was. All this equipment you see is all imported from the Netherlands. And what's really cool about this is this whole machine was built inside of a shed in the Netherlands. They test ran it and everything, then took it all back apart and shipped it across in containers and then put it up here for us. So yeah.
Is there a specific reason why the Netherlands versus some?
The Netherlands and the Dutch, kind of everywhere over that way, are 10, 15 years ahead of what we are in the United States when it comes to technology.
Really?
Yeah, as far as packaging equipment, stuff like that and everything.
So if you're in this type of business and you want innovation, that's the place to go look.
You're going to Europe. Here in the United States, there's not a lot of companies. Volm and stuff like that are some packaging companies that they do stuff for potatoes and everything, but they're here locally in the United States and stuff. But a majority of packaging equipment, palletizing equipment, sorting equipment, all's coming from Europe and everything. There's not companies here in the United States that are, there might be companies, but they're not known like eCraft and Cymac, companies like that are really taking care of customers and stuff.
That's fascinating.
So this is actually the air plume from the old storage. So you see the vented floors here. That's where we're different than potato storages. We don't have tubes that run through. You know how they throw the pipes in for potatoes? All of our storages have vented floors in them. So underneath here, there's a plume that runs, and then all the air comes out from inside there and will blow across and go through the floor. And then all of our sheds are all climate controlled and everything. So yeah, they go down. It's I believe this one's like a 9-inch slab. And then there's a whole nother floor underneath it. And that's where the air blows through all of them.
Is that, it's just regular air? Is it hot air? Is it just?
It's whatever we want control to be. So that's what Monty's over. We can change the temperature, the humidity. We can do everything. And that's what, I'll take you over to some of our newer storages.
How high will they be in here?
These storages, so these are some of the original storages we built. We'd only go like 9, 10 feet in here. Our new storages are going 14 feet tall. Our newer storages that we're building, Teton West is building them and stuff, and we can put 14,000 ton in them. So there's a lot of onions that go into those storages. So they're the hoop barn ones like you see down in Idaho and stuff. Same as that, except for we have the concrete floors with the vents and stuff in it. I know there's some guys down in Idaho that are starting to put those in and everything, but that's something with
starting
onions.
to do this?
Yeah, I know there's some guys down in Idaho that are starting to do vented floors for potatoes and stuff. So, but what was cool was we took this here, and this was part of the air plume. And we need
air plume. What's an air plume?
So there's giant fans down at the end of that, and the plenum blows all the air and stuff through here, and that's where all the temperature control, all that stuff is. So we have propane burners, we have air conditioners, everything like that we can control the onions. But that's what this was right here. And we cut this out and we put in all this structure and everything because we needed 2 more loading docks. And so we made this because what we'll do is when either product is finished or like our night shift, we'll run, instead of running the palletizers and the baggers and everything, we'll just run the product into bins. And then they'll bring them over, and this whole entire thing will be full of either finished product or sized product that then on day shift, that's what those bin dumpers are for. Then they'll come and get the bins out, bring them over and put them into the bin dumpers, and then that will run into the system. So this is Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Good to meet you.
Jared Flynn. Good to meet you. Yeah.
It's all about relationships, and it's all about your team too. That's something that I've always been taught by Neil and Clyde, was that it's not about what you know, it's about who you know, and it's about the tools in your toolbox. The way that I have looked at it is our operation is a toolbox. Every one of our employees is a tool in the toolbox. And just like Monty said, that we have guys on day shift and night shift that they're cross-trained and everything, they can be doing stuff. But it's just like I said, we like to do a lot of stuff we can ourselves. This year we bought a plasma table, we're getting press brakes, stuff like that and everything. So then instead of Monty having to drive to Tri-Cities, which is 40 minutes away, to go meet somebody to get a shaft rebuilt, we take it up to the shop, which is 2 minutes away, and we have somebody there that either myself, one of our mechanics, something like that, that we can start building stuff, or you're gonna have Clyde out there welding it together and stuff. And that's where,
because this is a big operation. You're constantly thinking about you got to keep things moving.
Yeah.
And again, you got so many moving parts.
Downtime becomes very expensive.
Very expensive, yeah, with 70 employees.
Well, and especially during harvest or anything, that's what, between the packing shed and harvest and everything, it's like my dad says, every time a digger is broke down in the field, because we have the digger operator, the clod pickers on the digger, and then we usually have between 6 and 10 trucks assigned to each digger. We run 7 diggers when we're running.
I was just thinking a lot of your time, I mean, probably not, but it seems like your main role is just making sure like minimum downtime. Like how do you keep, I mean, that's
You
mission
have to
critical.
keep production running
Yeah.
full time.
You're constantly thinking like, how do you
The
eliminate?
hardest thing to think of is, okay, downtime becomes critical because we know we have a set volume we have to run every day. Once harvest is done and everything, it comes to the 10th of October, we know there's a dead date. It doesn't just, you could carry it over. It's not a commodity like grain or any of that. It's not a commodity. So it's not gonna have long life shelf. We're gonna have to get done. So we know we have to be done at the end of May. So then we work backwards. How many total tons are there? Because we don't want to tell him, hey, you got to oversell today, but tomorrow we're going to back off because we broke down. But we got to make it back up. So you have a set amount you have to do daily.
That gives me anxiety thinking about that.
Consistency.
I mean,
is
because
key.
like it's a
But yeah. I mean, it's like I was talking with our sales guy that's in there with our Bybee marketing, and this morning I told him, I said, hey, good morning, Easy Money. He goes, easy money, it's stressful money. But you just learn to cope with it.
And that's where Neil, Clyde, myself, especially me, looking at it of things happen and everything, and if it comes to the day where I have to run this by myself and everything, guys like Monty and Jason are the ones that are going to help me be successful and stuff, because there is a giant wealth of knowledge between these two, both in sales, in plant operations, stuff like that, that I couldn't ask for better guys to be a part of our operation. I know that my dad and grandpa share the same thoughts and everything on it, because there's a reason why we got Monty to come back and stuff, and we're very glad that we were able to do that, because it's tremendously changed our operation.
But there's a key to the whole thing. That's the quality of the product. It starts with the sale, it ends with the sale. So Jason and Neil sat down and figure out the contracts and the sales. That starts it all. But then it takes Clyde, Neil, and Caden to grow a product that makes it easy for us here.
It seems like there's really good communication from the farmer all the way to the I mean,
really good here.
you guys are communicating, because there's
really
a lot. I mean, there's a long process in growing season.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, all the way from Jason doing sales to the ops to to growing the.
I'm kind of the do-all guy. The real grower is my dad. My dad is he is the onion guy. That's what his main focus is the onions and stuff, and he helps with everything else and stuff. But that is my dad's main focus, is the onions, because what it all comes down to is our whole operation. We don't have good onions. Our whole operation's in trouble, just because.
Has that happened before?
We're diversified and everything, but the thing is that our main focus is onions. We will. Other parts of our operation will suffer to make sure that we produce the best onions that we can.
So your key, taught by a guy that was here back and worked with Clyde and Neil back when this was built back in '97, and his philosophy was, it doesn't matter how well you harvest and how many tons you harvest, but what's your payable tonnage out those docks. And that's the way we operate. These guys are always asking, what's the quality? What's this field doing? What's that field doing? Because at the end of the day, you can grow 50 ton to the acre, but if you only ship 20 ton off your dock, you might as well shut the doors. You have to, out of that 50 ton, your goal is to make 90+% of it payable. If you can't get the tonnage to pay, why grow and put all that effort into it? You get one time to plant it. You get one season to grow it to get all the rewards, and you better make it pay.
Attention to detail is one of the biggest things, and that's why my dad and grandpa, we've had some different business ventures. We had a frozen food plant in Pasco that we did sweet corn, peas, beans, stuff like that and everything.
That's no longer?
No, so we, in, what was that, 13, 14?
13,
14, decided to get out of that because they were putting so much focus into that, because we didn't have the right team. It was pulling away from here, and they said, that's not what, we don't enjoy doing that. That's not farming and everything, because it was office work, stuff like that. Because we didn't have at Bybee Foods, we didn't have a team like Jason and Monty. We didn't have ones that were invested and really cared about the operation and everything. And so it was a lot of doing the chief keeping the Indians in line and stuff. And so it made it so that it wasn't enjoyable for them. And so we sold that, and kind of regrouped and refocused on what our priorities were. And that's where it kind of became the thing of onions is the top priority for
Do you all
us.
follow any business like principles or like study? I'm just curious. Like,
So that's where a lot of the stuff that's our family is very faith-based and everything. We're all members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that is something where a lot of our direction and stuff that we take with the way we conduct business and stuff like that is the same things that are taught in the church as well. It's just good business
which is
practice.
super successful. I mean, you see so many
Yeah.
crazy successful business owners.
Well, and the biggest thing is being honest, being upfront, like just being a good
Hardworking.
individual, hardworking, stuff like that, making sure that you're being honest and upfront with people and that people are getting taken care of. Even if it means you might get the short end of stick, you make sure that your customers are taken care of or your growers are taken care of, stuff like that, where not only is that the church, but that's also the way that our family has always operated and stuff. And that's where something for me as the third generation here that I've really has been instilled in me is that you really make sure that everybody's taken care of and that you're honest, because if your word is only worth as much as you are, and if your word's not worth anything, then your product's not worth anything. And that's where something my grandpa's always taught me is no matter what, no matter if it's gonna bite you really hard, you make sure that you're upfront and honest with everybody.
Are these?
So these are onions coming out of the field.
So these are like tests?
We just grabbed some of the food we're looking
Oh,
at,
okay.
and because we pulled them, I brought them back.
Can you
Ignore these. Ignore those.
Where'd those come from?
The first yellow field. They're here and there. The machinery does not like that.
No.
Explain the varieties here.
So here's a yellow. We have a lot of different varieties within yellow onions. We have an early one, so these are an intermediate, so it's a shorter day onion that was planted in February. We're gonna start harvesting it on Monday. So you got a shorter window there.
So how many months is that, or how many days?
It's like a 90-some day.
Okay.
I think they're 95 day or 92
And that's on the
days.
short
This
growing
variety,
side?
That's
Yeah.
short side. These are whites that are also coming off the short. I mean, some of them are mixed up. I'm wrong. These are coming off a Cometa field that we just pulled them out because we're going, okay, these onions, are they going to be in the right size in another month? We just grabbed them and I brought them back for the guys to eat. So that's not a good one. There's a better view of what the whites are that will start in 2 weeks that are down there. And then these are some reds that came off of a later long day, 105, 110 day red field. Won't be harvested until September. I just had grabbed them out and the guys can eat them if they want to. That's why these are here.
So are most onions planted in February?
We're
We'll
usually
start
March.
the latter part of February, 1st of March. It's usually the 1st of March, just depends on our weather. If our weather patterns are right, you can start in February, they will.
Because the ground's still pretty cold.
And they'll plant all the way till about mid-April.
Okay.
Yeah.
These onions here were planted, I think, the first or second week of April, right there in April. This is the red carpet.
Oh,
And so we were looking at, I pulled them out of the ground because I was showing Rodolfo, our production manager, I was showing him the difference in the necks. So some of these onions, see how the necks are just, they're smaller. Even this big onion, this neck over here is as big as that onion. So what'll take, these onions are going to get a lot of size to them, but they take longer to dry down. Those
What?
are our 3 colors.
These are so big.
Huge.
Just
those are massive.
They got
Those
two
are
big-
anomalies.
No,
Oh.
they're in an area where there's no, it was on the edge of the field. There's not a lot of plant population. So all the nutrients that are there just blows them up.
The problem is with like an onion like that is that you start getting them that big and everything, they'll start blowing the bottoms out of them. And then as soon as you blow the bottom out, it
no
goes
good.
it goes to the dump.
will these get stored with the stems and all that? Or
No.
So okay. What happens to those stems? They go
The-
back out in the field.
Yeah.
So in the
So
harvest process, they cut them and they're about like that.
Okay.
Or maybe a tad longer usually with the harvesters.
yeah.
And they
about
go into
like
the
that.
building like that.
And then what the green part here on the stem and with your leaves and everything, that's what will dry down. So it'll be dried down in the shed and everything like that, and then that way you're able to then run it across the line, and that's what when it goes across the toppers and everything like that, all that will come off, and you'll just have your onion you see in the grocery store.
If you get bad, I mean, then it's just going to animal feed or
Yeah, so a lot of our coals and stuff all go down to feedlots and dairies and stuff, and they mix into a TMR ration. So that's
You said a TMR ration?
like a TMR.
Oh, TMR. Okay.
Yeah, a TMR ration. So they'll take and mix it in with their different byproducts and everything and use it as a lot of the guys that we work with use them for like heifer feed and stuff.
But if you're selling, I mean, are those selling at a loss or break even by that time? I mean, just relatively, if it's going out as an animal feed.
Most of the stuff that goes out of the coal, we're paying for it to be taken. Years past and stuff, we have a dozer and everything that we were able to bury them and stuff, but because of new regulations and everything, we had coal slinger trucks, and we'd take the onions, put them in there, and it has hammer mills in there, and it'd blow them out, and then you'd take them and bury it with the dozer and stuff. And state of Washington won't allow you to do that anymore, so that's why everything's going to
What does that
berries.
harm anything?
Good question.
Good question.
Same thing like the
We're
whole
driven by the other side of the state.
all the emissions compliance stuff and everything they're coming out with the trucks now and stuff. Same deal. You kind of sit there and scratch your head and wonder where
Still trying to
certain
figure out
things
why
are
I
coming
got
from.
put death in my diesel pickup.
Yeah. So,
I put cow pee in my pickup so it runs.
hey, it's dinosaur pee. Come on, Lonnie. So,
How many employees? I mean, across everything, are
Well,
workers.
at least here at the shed, there's about 70 employees right now. We had over 100, and then when we put in a new packing line a year ago, and so we've cut. We're trying to cut labor, and so we have 2 shifts, about 70 people. So just trying to keep those costs down. On the farm, I'm not sure. What do you got on the farm?
the farm, we're probably, just for the farm, we're probably about 20, 25 guys between mechanics, operators, applicators, stuff like that and everything. And then trucking, we have 8 drivers. And then Max, our dispatcher, which Max been a part of our operation for over 25 years. So he started out, he's known me my whole life. He was our commercial tire guy before he came to work for us. And the first day Max came out, he came out on his route and everything and went back to the store and says, "You guys can have that account. I don't want to deal with that ornery old man." And so his wife works out here. They live here on the farm and everything. But yeah, Max worked on the farm and stuff. And then when we kind of geared up trucking more, we've had our ups and downs with trucking. We ran reefers, we ran flatbeds, we've done everything. Max was an over-road driver for us for 5 years, running maxi flatbeds we'd haul lumber from up in Colville down to Vegas, drop off in Vegas, and then pick up gypsum and haul that up to Boeing, unload at Boeing, and then we'd bring the reclaim, because they use the gypsum to build like the air ducts and stuff in the airplanes.
Okay, I was just going to ask.
And then they give that, so then we work to deal with them, because that's just gypsum like you put on the soil and stuff. So we work to deal with them that when our truck unloaded fresh product there, we'd pick up the reclaim and bring it out to the farm, and then we'd crush it, and that's what we spread on our fields and stuff, and then go and buy gypsum. That's the thing with our operation is the main thing is the farm, of course. Trucking supplemental to the farm and stuff, and but it's like my grandpa said that you can't be a bybie and not have trucks. It's kind of like a bad habit. No matter what you do, you can't get out of trucking. My grandpa, our family's had trucks the whole time I've been alive, and since we came from Oregon. But that's where it's kind of been in ups and downs and stuff. And then I was the one that I was down in Rexburg at college and called my dad and grandpa and said, "I'm tired of sitting down here with my thumbs under my pants here. I want something to do." And I said, "What if I dispatched the trucks from Idaho?" And they said, "Well, you can try it." So I started out with one truck and one trailer, and then we went from there on everything. And that's how.
While you were still in school?
I was working for Walters, running our trucking division, helping with the other stuff on the farm and everything, and then still going to school. We build pretty much all of our own, everything that's pretty simple to build, equipment bars, stuff like that and everything. A lot of the onion beds you'll see on our 10-wheelers, we build them all ourselves. We go buy trucks out of from lease companies and take them and stretch them and do drive lines, all that stuff and everything. So we build all of our own 10-wheelers and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
So
can we see that today?
yeah, it's
That'd be
right up
cool.
at the shop.
Yeah.
So
And there are a lot of pieces of equipment up here.
me and our head mechanic were talking yesterday. We figure power units, so 10-wheelers, pickups, combines, tractors, everything like that. We have about 120 units on the farm. So
A ton of maintenance.
yeah, we have 3 mechanics. That's all they do. So this is what I was talking about of building these 10-wheelers. So what we'll do is these range because we have year brakes and everything on them, but we'll go from 2016 to 2019s. We pick these trucks up from like a leasing service that they buy them.
Yep.
Like Unify, Ready Freight, stuff like that and everything. We go and buy these trucks that are 300 and 500,000 mile trucks. We get a good deal on them and stuff, and then we'll bring them in, and they're just normal tandem trucks. And so we'll bring them in and we cut the frames, stretch them, and then they come in as tandems, but then we turn them into a triple axle. So we go buy a third axle and put a third axle underneath of it, and then we re-gear the whole rear end and put a drop box behind the transmission. So these either have 6-speed Allisons or 10-speed Eaton Fullers in them, or Eatons. And so we'll take them and reprogram them and everything. And then we build the truck and paint them and do all that stuff and everything. And then some of these beds come out of Canada. We've started buying them here in the last couple of years and stuff. But like this one back here on that Peterbilt, that's one that we built ourselves. So we kind of took what we liked off of all the different beds and everything, and during the winter
You custom fab the whole thing?
yeah, we built that whole entire bed we built in our shop. So we built, I think there's
Holy
about
smokes.
15 of them running around. So that one's one that we built. This one's one. You can tell the ones we built because we put these bullet lights on them. We like
Oh, yeah.
lights. So we put these lights on them and stuff. But yeah, so
real quick, why do you have to have this many trucks?
So we lease ground all the way down on the river. So that's 31 miles from the farm and stuff. And so in order to us be efficient and effective, just like we were talking about with Monty and everything, to keep things going and stuff, you got to be able to get your product there. And for us to be able to do it and not have hiccups, and then that way your digger's not sitting in the field, you're not sitting at the storage, stuff like that. When I graduated high school, we had about 20 10-wheelers. And then we kind of went on a hiatus rampage of building 10-wheelers because we're like, hey, we need to do this, because what we were doing before was we were paying outside guys to come in and come haul for us. So we'd have a guy come in with 30 10-wheelers,
And then you're having to pay them.
it was costing $1 million a year to have them come in and come help haul and everything. We're like, why pay them $1 million and their trucks still break down and everything? Why not we build our own trucks, and we're still gonna have to do the upkeep and everything. But what we've done is we have in the internationals, we have 3 models of trucks. So we have the 4300, the 4400, and then we have the 8600s and the 625s, which are about the same. But we keep an extra engine for each model. We keep extra transmissions, extra drive lines. We can pretty much rebuild a truck within a day here if we need to. So we have storage, and we have engines. I even have I have an X15 sitting in there because all of our semis are on X15s except for our 379s. So we have an X15 sitting here that if we need to swing an engine, we can swing an engine.
It's that crucial. I mean, when you're running to have.
When one of these 10-wheelers is broke down, we have to pay the driver to sit here.
Yeah.
So we have two spares, and that is, so I'm kind of over our mechanics and everything, and that's, my dad will hound me. He says, if you have more than 2 trucks broke down, you guys didn't do anything during the winter. Well, like on cars, you got Guido and everything when they pull in. If we have a truck pull in with a bad tire, it is NASCAR pit stop. You just hear that air gun going, and there's jacks sliding under and everything, because time's money. For them, for one of these 10-wheelers to get from the storages to the field is 45 minutes one way, 45 minutes to an hour. So you figure they go down, it takes them 15, 20 minutes to load and come back. That's 3 hours. So say they're broke down here at the shop for an hour, they almost lose the whole load for a day. And so we pay, all the guys are paid hourly and stuff, but it's like, we still got to get those loads in and everything. And so that's why we built these. And that's what we have, anywhere from, like, these ones are 20-foot beds up to the triple drives are 26-foot beds.
So, okay, so you'll have triples if you got the longer bed?
Yeah,
Is that
so
right?
if it's a 26-foot bed, it has the triples.
To
The
be legal
24,
and-
yep, and the 24s are just a tandem, and then we have 20s. And that's the difference between the 24s and the 20s, is just what truck it's on, because these internationals are 400 to 450 horse trucks. These smaller C7 cats that are in these Peterbilts and stuff are only like 250 horse engines. So it's all about that too, because then and our thing is, some people are like, why do you need a 400 horse 10-wheeler? The more power you have hauling a set load, right? Less wear and tear on stuff and everything, because it's not, you're sitting there lugging the truck the whole time trying to hit
put it
50
under
miles an
pressure.
hour down the hill, because they're climbing hills the whole time going and everything. So we're like,
These trucks are going out in the field and.
Oh yeah, that's, all these trucks have lockers and everything in them, and that's, I keep a yankum rope in the back of my pickup, because I use my pickup to pull them, or we have tractors that we'll keep down at the field, because these things, they'll get, until you get some product in them, they get stuck really easy because they're pretty light. So you get product in them.
every year you guys are adding building and adding. I mean, that's kind of the goal.
We take it and roll them and update them. So like what we do usually, like on these ones, so the next ones to go will be like these Peterbilts, but what they won't leave. We'll take them, make them into dump trucks. We'll make them into fertilizer trucks. We'll make them into flatbeds, because we have like flatbeds down at the packing shed and stuff. We're hauling packaging product back and forth from our storage and everything. So we kind of repurpose stuff all the time. And
I was going to say, is there other utilization?
Yeah, that's what we use them. We use them for all sorts of stuff. That's what we moved all the dump trucks out yesterday, but every one of the dump trucks we have used to be a 10-wheeler, and it's like, okay, it's never going to touch the highway again. It's just going to be driving on the farm, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Even if we got to put 2 gallons of oil in it a day to keep the thing going, that's still cheaper than buying another dump truck.
Yeah.
And so we'll take it and do those. So to be able to keep all of our lines going and stuff, we have, I think we're up to 10 or 11 dump trucks now, just to haul the waste, or haul like the not the coals, but like the clods and stuff that coming off the dirt and linear, like they do in potatoes. Same thing we have to do with these.
How many of these are in the fleet today? I mean,
so between here and here, there's 57. When we're doing early onions, that's what we were talking about. We have early, and then intermediates, and then storage onions. We start early onions next week. We usually start at midnight or 1 in the morning, because when you're harvesting an onion, it's not like grain or something like that where you got to have it warm and got to have it dry and stuff. Once the internal temperature of an onion gets over 90 degrees, then you're pretty much damaging it, digging it in the field because of handling it, and then sitting in a steel bag going down the road when it's 100 degrees and stuff. So we'll usually start midnight or 1 o'clock, and then we'll only go till, there's some days we only go till 10 a.m. Then there's some days we can go till 1 or 2, just depending on how the weather is. Like today compared to yesterday, this time yesterday it was already 100 degrees. Today it's like 92, 93.
So most of your onion harvest will be at night?
For early onions, so about the first month. Then once we go to storage, then we go all day. So when we get into storage onions, we start about 9 in the morning and go till 11 or 12 at night. One of our things for trucking too, we used to run reefers down in California and everything. So we have 2 of these reefers. We weren't kill packs or anybody like that have a whole fleet, CR England or anything. We just had 2 reefers that we run. And
were you the original one to sign up on BulkLoads?
Yep.
Okay.
I did that when I was down in college. I was looking around, like, because there's all these different load boards and everything, and I was like, I don't want reefer loads. I don't want flatbed loads. I want loads that I have the trailers for and everything.
Yeah.
And so I started looking around and stuff, and I can't. One of your guys' ads popped up on Facebook. That's what it was. Popped up on Facebook. My dad sent it to me and he goes, hey, you need to look into this. And then I got looking into it and everything. I said, yeah, we need to do that. Got on there. I can't tell you how much BulkLoads has made a difference in our operation. Max is on BulkLoads almost every day. Probably 80% of the business we do is either off of the BulkLoads board or it is off of relationships that we've built through BulkLoads. And it's funny too, because off of BulkLoads, like Chris Powell down at Ag Northwest, because I have all the alerts set on my phone, Chris posted a load going to Idaho from down here, and I called him like, hey, why didn't you call me? He goes, what do you mean? I said, you just put a thing on BulkLoads. He goes, you're all BulkLoads? I'm like, yes, Chris, I'm all BulkLoads. He's like, well, okay. I'm like, dude, just send me over the stuff. We'll get it figured out and everything. He goes, okay, great.
It's a huge grain cart.
Yeah, it's
how many
Brent
bushels?
1,600. I think it's like a 1,300 bushel.
Where you are up here, can you guys haul doubles?
Yep. Yeah, we got doubles on all those trucks.
So up here though, like you can haul like how much tonnage?
Washington, we're good for 105.5 gross.
Okay.
So
typically on a load of grain or whatever,
we usually figure between 32 and 34 ton.
Okay.
That's my sister right there running that combine. One of them.
Wow. Dude, I gotta ask, being back out here, because like he did head to kind of a point, like you really can't find a woman out here, can you?
I got all my buddies that are married, their wives all set me up with girls and everything and stuff, and like I'll go on a couple dates and stuff, but it's for me what I've found, and it's nothing against women, nothing against men, anything like that, just our generation as a whole. It's not like how you and my dad's generation was, stuff like that and everything. It's social media and everything has such an influence on people that it's, oh, I can do better than that guy. Oh, look, I seen this guy on TikTok. Oh, I seen this. And it's like, it makes it hard because it's like I dated girls in college and stuff. And then like I said that I worked on my family's farm and everything, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, my family, like I work 22-hour days, stuff like that or anything, because you don't want a girl to know that. But until you get married, that's what my dad said. You hide that until, but it's the thing that I've found is just girls don't want, like they want the thing of, oh, I have a blue collar husband, works and everything. But then they want it that you're there at every beck and call and everything. I'm like, hey, sorry to break it to you. Like, I'll be there as much as I can, but
Yeah.
There's sometimes that the farm's got to take precedence over some stuff because there's different things that happen. Oh, I lost a tire. Let's jump out and see what Jaden has to say. There's some live action for you.
I know, this is real stuff.
Your big gun? Yep.
If you don't mind me asking, what actually went down?
Pretty much your cleaning parts on the combine here for threshing the seed out and everything, and the one of these bushings here went out. So see, that's supposed to be out here, not in there.
Oh, yeah, got it.
Like that. Yeah, it's supposed to be like that. So it's pretty much like a torsion bar. And because what this does is this sits there and shakes back and forth. So this is your cleaning shoe. So the joys of combines. That's the one thing you can buy them brand new and they're still going to break down every day.
Because how old is this machine?
Oh, this one's got about 4,000 hours on it, but we just rebuild them. Because if you were to go buy an X9 combine with a grass header, a wheat header, and a corn header, you'd be about $1 million. Okay, watch this bolt, because when it comes in, we don't want it to go all the way. We want it to just be part way in there, because they're kind of a pain to get back in.
Like 6-7 inches.
Can you lift up on that come along anymore?
Like less than 14 inches.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put the bigger come along on there too.
You had these go down before, this
Oh, yeah.
specific part?
This one we've had these come all the way out the back of the combine before.
Oh, gee.
We have 5 combines, but we've lost them in corn and wheat. We've had all sorts of.
So where are we going now?
So we're gonna go across the road. So my dad bought a farm in 2006. It's called Columbia Ridge. It's right across the road. The difference about that farm, so this stuff here on the main farm is it is all on the irrigation project coming out of the river. The stuff over across the road, Columbia Ridge, is all a well farm. So we dug 3 wells over there. That whole farm is irrigated via well water instead of coming out of the river.
This is barely wide enough.
Yeah,
I mean,
know.
maybe
This,
not quite.
no, it's sometimes you have a little bit of loss moving some of these headers around. And it's something you kind of just got to deal with. I make more money planting all the way up to the road than you'll make not planting to the road for the 3 times you move a 30-foot header between fields. It's amazing to think though that all this stuff right here is stuff that is in the last, I think, next year will be 50 years since we moved up here. So all in the last 50 years, all this stuff's been put in.
Unbelievable.
So between all of our farms, we have almost, between the main farm and this farm and stuff, we have our dryland corners that we just mow them and spray them and everything to keep the weeds down and stuff, which is a constant battle. We have almost 700 acres worth of dryland corners that we mow and spray and everything.
700 acres of
just canyons and stuff that it doesn't fit in with circles and everything.
Oh,
and
okay.
We used to take them and put them into wheat and do like dryland wheat and stuff on them, but it just got to the point where we're like, we're better off just taking them and putting so what we have over here, it's pretty much like a cover crop. It's called crested wheatgrass, and it's a dryland grass that is pretty drought resistant and everything that we put in, and that's what you just mow it and spray it, keep the weeds down and everything, and Yeah, so like these ponds here, we built, they're the holding ponds. So anytime we're not pulling water to the circles, we take it and fill the ponds. So then that way we can add water to our flow when we need to as well. If we lost a well motor, the ponds that we have are enough that we can run on a segmented water schedule for 2 or 3 days before we run out of water, which it'd take us about 2-3 days to get the motors swapped and stuff for the pumps.
So what is this machine? What's happening right now?
So what we're doing is going through with this, and it's taking the straw and cutting it and windrowing it for our balers to come through. This header is cool because it has the ability to see how we're sending a windrow underneath the cab as well as one to the left. So we do that for the 2-tie balers because they handle a 15-foot windrow a lot better than they handle a 30-foot windrow. Split the header in two, and then we go along here and take all this straw. What we found was by swathing it compared to dropping it out the back of the combine and baling it and cutting it low, when we go to bust those bales in the wheel tracks and everything, you get, if you combine drop it, you get all that chaff and everything in there. And so that's all your seed holes and everything like that. That it's pretty much like sawdust and it doesn't do much and everything. Where if you just have straight long straw like this, it works substantially better. Everybody always says when they come out and like see the operation and everything, buyers and people will come out and come tour it and stuff, and they go, there's no doubt in any of our minds that all three of you are Bibees because you guys all act the same when it comes to working and everything like that. But no, that's something where I hope when I'm 86, I'm still getting around like my grandpa.
Yeah, that's just so encouraging.
The cool thing about this header too is like right now where that thing plugged up because the straw was so heavy, I can take it and I like to back up with it, and you can change your belt direction, so I can send it back across.
Oh wow! Without it ever getting out.
Yeah, so I can do it all right here on this box over here, and take it and see it cleans right back out, and then I kick it back. So if I have it in the center, it'll send both of them to the middle, but I take it and do the deck shift to the right, and then that sends everything over.
It's a heck of a machine.
That's the thing too on running equipment and stuff like this. Like when we get a new piece of equipment, I like to go run it a lot and stuff because then I can learn all the ins and outs on it and everything, and also have the thing that if I am running it, I can multitask and stuff, like be able to be setting this up, talking on the phone and thinking about something else all at the same time. Because in business, that's what you got to do these days, especially how many phone calls.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, I mean, managing everything, like trucking operation, the farming. Where will the wheat that was cut out of this field, where will most of that end up?
So we have some that's seed stock that goes up to the seed company we work with, and then the rest of it goes down to it's actually at Agri Northwest down there at GHI. They have a deal with a couple other grain operations and stuff that we sell.
Columbia Grain's huge out here, aren't they?
Got Columbia Grain, Tri-City Grain, United Grain, and then GHI. So
because a lot of this grain, obviously, you're on the west, so a lot of it will
goes on barges and goes down the river.
Yeah. Caden, I just want to thank you for letting us come out here and see this operation. Man, we got a full scope. I mean, everything from the onion side of the business all the way to the trucking to the farming. I actually got to see you work on a combine, move some equipment around. But no, I just like said, we, it's like we love sharing these videos for more than one reason. I mean, again, just to show the industry all sides of farming and trucking, from really how the song goes from sea to shining sea. But yeah, to really see how different it is up here in Washington. But yeah, just want to thank you for that. And man, just excited for you and seeing the third generation work.
No, I appreciate you guys coming out. Like I said before, BulkLoads has really changed how we're running our operation and everything. And we appreciate having a company like you guys that are willing to come out and come see what we're doing and stuff, because it's like there's plenty of other operations that they're not just trucking operations and stuff. We're all vertically integrated and stuff, and that's what it's really cool to be able to share this with other people and allow them to kind of see what we're putting a face to the name and everything, and to see that we're just regular guys and stuff trying to make it all work, and to bring more awareness to the industry, because that's definitely something that we really appreciate you guys doing. Love all your guys' videos and stuff. And we really appreciate you guys coming out here. I know it was a long trek for you guys.
Yeah.
So,
well, man, appreciate you sharing.
hey, no,
God bless
thank you.
Appreciate
Take care.
it. Yeah. Thank you.